Hello and welcome to this Scientific Principles video with Elec Training. This video is on the subject of resistivity. Now previously we've seen that the resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Now we're going to look at the cross-sectional area of the conductor. By cross-sectional area we simply mean that if you cut a conductor in half and look down the end, that area of the surface that you can see, that's the cross-sectional area. Now if you take four conductors of equal cross-sectional area, CSA, and connect them together in parallel, you effectively have a conductor with 4 times the cross-sectional area of one of them, and you have 4 resistors in parallel. Now that's quite a lot to take on board, but let me show you that in a more visual way. Imagine you have a conductor and you split it in half, right down the length of it, and you split it in half again. So we're not changing the length of the conductor, but we're just splitting it right down the middle and right down the middle again, so that we've now got 4 conductors, each a quarter of the cross-sectional area of the original conductor. Now imagine that we connect one end, all 4 of one end we connect to one terminal of the battery, and then the other 4 ends we connect to the other terminal of the battery. What we'll have created, and bear in mind we're thinking of each of these lengths of conductor as a resistor, we've connected them in such a way that they're in parallel. So we've got 4 resistors in parallel. So the cross-sectional area in total is the cross-sectional area of each of them added together. So that's A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4. And we know from our previous studies that the more resistors you connect in parallel, the lower the overall resistance becomes. And we have this formula for calculating resistance in parallel, and it's 1 over RT equals 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3 plus 1 over R4, as there are 4 conductors in this case. So that leads us to the conclusion that the resistance is inversely proportional to the area. And the little symbol again means proportional, but by putting 1 over A, that's 1 over the area, that's a way of saying inverse of the area. So the resistance is inversely proportional to the area. The resistance equals 1 over the area. So let's look at an example that puts this into practice. If the resistance of 100 meters of a certain conductor is 0.076 ohms, calculate the resistance of 100 meters of the same conductor, but with, well, we've got 4 things to do here now. A, twice the CSA, B, 4 times the CSA, C, half the CSA, and D, 1/4 of the CSA. So we're going to go through each of those stages of the question. So for part A, since R, or resistance, is inversely proportional to area, then R equals 0.076 divided by 2, because we want twice the cross-sectional area, so therefore the resistance will halve. So the resistance of 0.076 divided by 2 gives us a new resistance of 0.038 ohms. And then part B, we're asked to calculate 4 times the CSA. So the resistance is going to be 0.076 divided by 4, because it'll be 4 times less. If there's a 4 times increase in the cross-sectional area, the resistance will be 4 times less. So 0.076 divided by 4 equals 0.019 ohms. And then part C of the question, what about half the CSA? Well, this time we take the resistance that we were given originally, 0.076, and we divide by a half, 1 over 2. And that gives us a total resistance of 0.152 ohms. You notice there that dividing by a half is the same effect as multiplying by 2. So half the CSA, twice the resistance. And then part D was what is 1/4 of the cross-sectional area. If we've got 1/4 of the cross-sectional area, the resistance would be 0.076 divided by 1/4. And that gives us 0.304 ohms. And now on to another example. If the resistance of 100 meters of a certain conductor is 1.24 ohms, calculate the resistance of 500 meters of the same conductor but with twice the CSA. Now, can you see what this question is doing? It's getting a bit more complicated because we've got to account for twice the cross-sectional area, but at the same time we've got to account for an increase in the length of the conductor. So we're now considering both the length and the cross-sectional area. So first of all, let's consider the resistance in terms of the length. So that would be the new length divided by the old length times resistance. So that's 500 is the new length divided by 100, the old length, times 1.24, gives us a resistance of 6.2 ohms. So that's half the question worked out, but remember, it's not just an increase in the length, there's also an increase twice the cross-sectional area. So to account for that, remember that the resistance in relation to cross-sectional area, it's an inverse relationship, so the resistance must be halved. So because we've doubled the cross-sectional area, we're going to halve the resistance. So to complete the answer, the resistance of the changes that are in that question would end up being a resistance of 3.1 ohms. So 5 times the length, but then twice the cross-sectional area. So you see the 5 times the length increased the resistance by 5 times, but then twice the cross-sectional area actually halved that result to our answer. So I hope you're beginning to get the idea of the relationship between the length of a conductor and resistance, and also the cross-sectional area of the conductor and the resistance. And just to recap that, the resistance increases directly proportional to the length, but it's inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area. So thank you very much for listening.